welcome. I'm Kinan Hosh. I am the head of marketing here at AlphaBOLD, and I'm thrilled to have you all here. The reason we're here today is one of the most common questions we get from our clients is, will AI replace us? Simple answer is no, it won't. But the people who know how to use AI will always have a huge advantage over those who don't. And so AI is not going anywhere, right? It's not a passing fad. It's not becoming integrated into everything and then going to disappear, right? It's part of our personal and professional lives at this point. And for a lot of the clients we work with, AI in a workplace still feels a bit like magic. It's either going to solve all our problems or it's going to do our job entirely while we go out to lunch, which both is not realistically true. So today what we were going to do is we're going to pull back the curtain on that magic, specifically in the world of Sales Hub. And we have Rob Wenstrand here, our master of all things AI and Microsoft Dynamics CRM. He's going to show us how powerful how powerful they are, and how they can transform your team's workflow. And we're going to be able to start using them as soon as today. But he's also going to show off some really fun custom AI apps we built for clients that have a lot of different use cases. So if you're ready to see how AI can stop being a buzzword and can start giving you an actual competitive advantage, you're in the right place. Rob, please take it away.
Thanks, Kenny. Hey, everybody. I'm Rob Wenstrand. I'm the Senior Director of Dynamics 365 here at AlphaBOLD. I've been working with the Dynamics product for quite a long time, not quite 20 years, but pretty long time, 2007. So today we're going to talk about, is your CRM ready for the AI era? Well, what does that all mean? Let's take a look at the agenda. So first off, AI is really only as good as your data. So obviously these models have scraped and pulled data from all sorts of other sources, and so that can be helpful. But to make data really useful for your organization, it's really only good as the data that you yourself load into it. AI and data integrity and security. A lot of people, there's a lot of concern about what happens to your data when you load it into these different platforms and utilize it in combination with AI. So we're going to get into a little bit about how Microsoft is using your data and how they're making sure that it's secure and private. We're going to talk a little bit about telephone integration and conversation intelligence. And then we're going to talk about what else as AlphaBOLD can help you do to imagine using AI within your projects and within your existing CRM tool. So talk about a few real world use cases where we have used it, and discuss a few other scenarios. So let's talk a little bit about how AI can help me with Dynamics 365. So first off, out of the box, we have conversation summaries. So as you load data into the system, as you add activities and things like that into your CRM, we can summarize that information and surface it to your salespeople, your customer service, your field service team, based upon the information provided. Highlights. Again, using this information, we can quickly get up to speed on an account at a high level view. So I don't know anything about an account, I can take a look at it, or an opportunity or a lead, and get a brief overview. So natural language querying, the ability to enter in or ask the system what you're looking for and have it provide you valid results. Autofill and data capture, being able to take things like business cards and other forms of data and have it help you load that information directly into the system. Finally, some sentiment analysis from things like team calls. So being able to record your calls and load those conversations directly into your system so that we can use that information to help keep us up to speed, help us find those extra insights and those things that we often miss. So really, without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and dig right in. Let's take a look at a few, overall a scenario, but a few things that we're going to look at within the system today. So in this scenario, I have a new potential customer. I need to enter their information into the system quickly and easily. I would like to easily look through my system to find them and then quickly enter that data into the system without having to manually key it in. So without further ado, I'm going to hop right in here and we'll pull open our existing Dynamics environment. So the first thing I've done here is I've hopped into Dynamics and I'm looking at a list of accounts in the system. In this case, it is a bunch of schools. So I can ask it a number of things, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to ask it something specifically. I'm going to ask it to show me all accounts that have open opportunities in Florida. Now, notice there are some existing filters. So it's looking for accounts of type school with a filter here and status of active. But I'm going to go ahead and hit the enter button here to do my search. So what it's going to do is it's going to take my query and it's going to break it apart, inspect it using our common AI tools, and it's going to build me the dynamic filter automatically. So traditionally, what I would have to do is I would have to say, okay, filter by the state of Florida, filter by this parameter, show me all the opportunities, or show me all the accounts that have a particular opportunity. So what we can see here is if I click on these filters, we can see that it automatically detected that I'm looking specifically for a state, so something in the state of Florida. And if I open up my advanced filters, we'll be able to see that it actually created a complex filter that is filtering these accounts based upon them having an opportunity in the open stage. So traditionally, what I would have to do is I would have to open a filtering pane and add that filter manually. But what this tool did is it automatically calculated what filters I needed and built this complex filter for me out of the box. All right, so I've maybe done some research. I've looked through the system to try and find my particular account. But instead, what I'm going to do is I couldn't find them, so I'm going to create them as a lead. To do that, I'm going to go over here to leads. I'm going to go ahead and hit the new button to pull up a new lead window. Now, I've gone ahead and I've got a business card from somebody. So let me pull that up real quick here. I've got a business card. It's an image from Danny Martinez, and I can't really select this. So traditionally, what I'd have to do is I'd have to print it out. I'd have to put it up on my screen in 2 locations and type it in, look at another window. But what I can do now using something called the Form Assistant is I can simply grab an image. So in this particular case, I have an image of this business card. I'll hit the open button. It's going to take that image file, process it using optical character recognition, and utilize sort of a combination of the information that it sees and recognizes, as well as the fields that we have on the form, to try and determine where that information should reside on our record. So let's take a look and see how accurate we were. We can see that it set the topic of our lead to the company name. We've got our first name, last name. We've got our job title, business phone. We've got company information, so company, website, street, etc. Now, what I can do now that I've got this information, you see it's sort of highlighted in blue. I can accept individual pieces of information. I can also reject some of it. Additionally, I can just come up here at the top and simply accept all those suggestions. I've now entered a new lead with just a few clicks. I can save and close, or save and do additional operations, and there we are. So that's just one of the ways that we can create or enter data quickly into the system. Another way that we can enter data into the system quickly and easily is by simply instead of using an image, we can just copy and paste. I know a lot of customers that we work with end up with sort of old website form submission forms, things that look like this. You get an email with a contact form submission, and you got all this stuff in text. Now, it's nice because, yeah, we have it in text, so we could copy and paste each one of these values into our form over here. But what I could simply do is simply grab all of this data, copying it, come over here, and you'll notice that we have something called smart paste. I can click on this button right here, which will, smart paste in whatever I just copied, or simply on my keyboard, I can hit Control V, which I just did. It's going to paste that text into the smart paste functionality. It's going to take a look, inspect that information, and automatically fill our form out, just like we did with the other business card. So I'll go ahead and accept that information. Again, we save and close, and that's all we need to do. So what did we just see? So first off, we were able to glean some insights into our data using natural language search. Additionally, we're able to quickly get data into our system using the Form Fill Assistant. So a real quick and easy win there. Okay, so we talked about some of the things that we can do within the system, but really AI is only as good as the data that we have in our system. So we can only generate insights that we have data for. So additionally, missing or poor quality data does limit our AI functionality. So when we're talking about data, what data is it that we're talking about? Well, within Dynamics, there's a number of things that are built in, and all of the features and functionality that we're showing today is driven from the information that we're seeing. Activity records. So as you make calls in the system with phone calls, appointments, tasks, and notes, we can add notes to the system on a record. And as you can see, it'll even let us present insights. So, hey, it sees that the customer wants to potentially have a follow-up call. Should we automatically create a phone call? Emails. So as we bring emails into the system, we can utilize the system to help us draft things like other emails. So it'll take the context of emails that we brought into the system along with the data and help us draft useful emails to our customers. Teams meetings. So we can bring and pull Teams chats and conversations, associate them to opportunities and accounts and contacts and leads, and be able to feed it more information for it to be able to pull more insights about records. And finally, we're able to tie it to SharePoint and other database repositories and sources so that as we're looking through the system, it'll be able to see that extra information and pull that data. All right, so now that we have shown you tease a few more features and functionality, let's hop right back into our demo and let's show a few more features that Dynamics can provide related to AI. So in this sort of next scenario, I'm hopping in for the day and I've been told that another salesperson has left the company. I've been assigned a record. I need to get up to speed quickly. Well, how do we do that? First, I need to find out what's important to me. I need to use some of the intelligent tools to show me what's important. I want to get up to speed quickly without needing to spend time on research. And I want to reach out and talk to this customer that was assigned to me. Let's go ahead and hop right in. All right, so I'm back within the system. I have my system open. Let's actually navigate over to our Copilot pane. Now, one of the things you'll notice right here at the top is we can ask, okay, well, what's been newly assigned to me, or what's new with my sales records? Well, I know it was assigned to me, but I'm kind of curious what's new with my sales records. I'll go ahead and click on this button, and what we can see is that hey, look, we've got this is a new opportunity, one that I hadn't seen before. I can also expand down here and see that I've got some other accounts that have been updated. But let's take a little bit more. Let's get some more information about this particular record. So I'll go ahead and click on the Get Updates button, and we'll see that it's gone through and taken a look at the record and shown us what's changed since the last time that we've logged in. So we can see that a few stakeholders were added, job titles changed, they added an additional product to the opportunity, and they changed the estimated revenue. So cool, I've got some basic information. I use Copilot to kind of see what's up for the day. Let's hop into this opportunity and inspect a little further. So as the record pulls, as the record pulls up, we can see first off, we have an opportunity score over here on the right-hand side. So this opportunity score is automatically generated based upon information that I've entered into the system. It's also based upon past performance. So as opportunities are closed as won and lost within the system, opportunity score can be built, and we can pick and choose which of the variables or values that are on the opportunity can help us adjust the model. As we continue to close and win opportunities, or close and lose opportunities, the scoring will change and allow us to sort of understand or potentially allow certain opportunities to rise to the top based upon their scores. So we're talking quite a bit about the data that's in the system. So within an opportunity record, we have our timeline, and a timeline is where we keep things like notes, phone calls, Teams chats, emails, all of this conversational history. Sometimes it's really hard to get up to speed and to understand what's occurred on a record. So what we can do is we can go ahead and click on highlights within our timeline itself. And these highlights will summarize sort of the most recent levels of history that's happened on the record. You'll also note things, as I had teased earlier, things like highlighting. I've entered a note, and this note talks about having a follow-up meeting. As I click on that note, you'll see that it's actually created some suggestions asking me if I should create an individual task. And I can totally do that. However, one of the things that I noticed is that I do have a task that's scheduled for myself, giving me some details about what I need to do next. And it does look like I do need to reach out and introduce myself. So that should be my next task. But before I do that, I do want to get a little bit more information about what's going on. So I'm going to go ahead and pull open my Copilot pane over here on the right-hand side. I'm going to go ahead and summarize this record. And what you're going to see is you're going to see a summary of this record, the account, as well as some additional insights that we've gleaned from the system. So what we can see is we've got a summary of audio system deployment, estimated revenue, some of the basic information. We can see some basic things that have happened recently, and this is pulling from things like the conversation histories. But we also see some things related to insights, so product insights. So based upon the 3 products that we have associated to it, it shows that, hey, what we've quoted is within their stated budget. We can take a look specifically about what we've quoted, as well as about what competitors are in the market related to this. All right, so now I've done my research. I'm ready to make the phone call. So I'm going to go ahead and close out of my Copilot pane. I'm going to scroll up the window here and click on the call button. What this is going to do is it's going to make an outbound call within the environment to Teams, create a message, and allow me to record that conversation. So let's go ahead and get started. So I've made the call. Also note that I'm currently on Teams, and I'm also able to make a call on Teams. You see, as I'm getting a call from my demo environment. Now, what happens is the first thing that you'll notice here is that a window will pop up on the screen, and it'll allow me to start typing some notes. If I click on the details tab, it shows that it is actually already associated to the opportunity that I'm currently on. If I scroll down the screen, you'll actually see that it's already started to record the phone call conversation, so that any notes or insights that I take have been recorded or have been associated to this particular opportunity. Now I'm going to go ahead and start the recording. And so as I talk, my insights will be recorded. I'm going to go ahead and unmute my microphone here so that we can start getting some transcript here. Wait for a second here, a little pause so you can see it's getting my transcript. I'm going to go ahead and mute myself on this side and pull my phone up here. And so let's say I'm the customer, and I have a few things to say, and I might say something really positive. Hey, this is awesome. This is incredible. This is fantastic. And then I may tell the customer, or the customer may say, oh no, this is horrible. This is terrible. How could this possibly happen? This should never happen again. So the reason for this will become clear in one moment, but bear with me for one more minute while I say one more thing to the call, and that's, hey, let's schedule a call next Wednesday at 4 p.m. Pacific. How's that sound? So again, just some additional insights, and as you can see on the screen, it is recording all that information within the transcript. So let's say we finish wrapping up the call. I've introduced myself. I can type in some follow-up notes. So some follow-up notes as I need to, and those of course will show up in my summary or my transcript. Now that I've done that, let's actually go ahead and take a look and open up that phone call activity and see some of the insights that we're able to glean from that phone call. All right, so I've clicked on the call summary, and sometimes it does take a moment for the system to process the underlying call and the AI. But as you can see, it was actually worked pretty quickly. We can see here that it's sort of segmented the call. If you're used to sort of the Teams recording and summaries and transcriptions, this is very similar. But you can see we've got sentiment tracking. So I can see that there's this positive sentiment where I start talking about things that are real positive, et cetera. And then if I jump here to the red, we'll see, hey, this is horrible, et cetera. Now, if I come down here, we'll see that, hey, let's schedule a call for next Wednesday. If I go ahead and add this comment, I could say, Rob, to schedule. We'll save that comment. And now if we come over here into our mentions, we're able to add that into our notes. And you'll also be able to see some other tags that we have available to us. And when we're all said and done, we can close out that conversation, and that transcript and history will be available to us within our timeline for others to see. So what did we see? So we use Copilot tools to help us find the records that were important to us to the day. In this case, we were able to find a brand new opportunity. We use opportunity scoring to allow us to see what rose to the top. We got up to speed quickly without needing to spend time on research with the opportunity research agent. We integrated Teams calling with automated call recording, so being able to gain those extra conversational insights. And then we use sentiment detection and enhance insights into the customer's conversation intelligence to highlight portions of the call that we might find important. So now that you can see what it can do, let's address some of the security and data privacy concerns that you may have. So one of the most common ones that we have is, will AI systems misuse or mine customer data? So the answer is no. So you have opt-in and opt-out controls at a tenant level for consent. Administrators can control whether or not those features are used to train their models. You can withdraw consent at any time. So you can revoke data sharing permissions for AI features within the Power Platform Admin Center. So where is the data stored, and does it comply with regional security laws? So you retain full control over your data. Microsoft doesn't mine it for training AI or advertising purposes unless explicit consent is given. And this is usually done at the tenant level via an opt-in mechanism. So you can opt in or opt out. Data resides locally. So let's say that you're in the EU. It respects those data boundaries and it meets all regional privacy and compliance standards. Opt-in, opt-out as I mentioned, there's opt-in and opt-out at the tenant level. So who can access sensitive CRM data, and it is secured? Fortunately, data is stored securely, stored using industry standard encryption, so at-rest encryption, BitLocker, and per-file encryption. Microsoft secures data in their data centers. They're fully secured using all industry-leading MFA, authorization role-based standards, strict isolation, etc. Can users see how their data is used in control? So Microsoft has a robust reporting structure. So using Trust Center, you can learn about how Microsoft processes and stores your data, including how they respond to government or third-party access requests. So they integrate with compliance tools. They have a compliance manager and of course, data subject request workflows for GDPR, for example. They also have governance controls like full auditing, customer lockbox, being able to lock your data in a secure location or vault, and then being able to finally control data, access to your data. They have a set of responsible AI practices, say continual oversight and governance within their AI practice and across all of the AI platforms. They adhere to this in a transparent way. And I believe at the end of this, Keenan will be able to provide some links and references to the attendees after the event. So as a summary, Microsoft applies a multi-layered privacy framework. So spans encryption, governance, auditing, relies on a core principle of ethics, which they're open and transparent about. Your data always stays within jurisdictional boundaries and technical boundaries that you yourself set. AI only acts on data that you control. You maintain transparency and regulatory compliance, and you're always in firm control of your data. So what else can it do? So advanced sales forecasting, we can predict future sales based on historical data. Lead scoring, we can do not just opportunity scoring, but we can do scoring for leads as they come in as well, lead scoring and routing and assignment. Draft correspondence. So more data that we have in the system, we can utilize the power of Copilot paired with your data to help you and your team write targeted professional correspondence. Finally, what else can we as AlphaBOLD do for you? So we're AlphaBOLD. We've got 20 plus years of experience specifically in AI. Uh, uh, our company was founded with an AI practice over 8 years ago. We have experience doing resource assignment, custom document report generation, risk and trend analysis, document import and processing. To give you kind of an example of some of our capabilities, I do have a scenario to share with you today. So we've got a engineering drawing line item extraction. So I've got an engineering drawings that contain critical info that I need to extract. So in this scenario, we're gonna leverage Azure AI tools to read one of these very complex documents and have it extract a list of materials that we need for the job. First, let's take a look at a civil engineering drawing. So you'll see it's a fairly complex drawing. Get it up here, 1 second here. So it's a fairly complex drawing, but you'll see a number of different items and their locations outlined in boxes. So kind of pay close attention to the one that's highlighted here. It looks like it's going to be a fire hydrant. So it's a little fire hydrant assembly here. So what this tool does, I'll go ahead and upload this file here into the system here. What this tool does is it's going to analyze this particular file. It's going to extract all of those individual line items into a format that I can then take and bring into any other system. So as you can see, it's a very complex drawing with a lot of different items and locations outlined in those boxes. So we're using Azure AI Vision to do the analysis on this. And all the artifacts found, we're utilizing a number of algorithms to validate the data and ensure that it meets sort of the necessary requirements. Additionally, it's going and reaching out to some external databases, querying some data and pulling it back in to essentially bringing in more information about the item that it was able to extract. So as you can see here, there's that proposed fire hydrant assembly. It was able to read that within the Azure Vision document. It was also able to read all of those other line items in there, as well as read out to some external databases, categorize what they are, determine how many there were, as well as determine the type of unit that particular part is sold in. So as you can see, just another scenario that we can utilize AI for. So what we saw. So we saw data extraction from complex images using Azure Vision AI. So very simple tool, and this tool can be wrapped around any other tools such as Dynamics. To kind of give you a taste of a few other examples, we can do automated reporting and document generation. So here's a sample of where we're automatically generating a project status report for an existing project based upon the data that we have in the system. We're also doing things like automated resource recommendation and assignment. So let's say that you have a complex project or some other system that needs to look at a bunch of variables within the system and help you make decisions about who to add to things like team members. So here's another example of where we were able to add. So in summary, do you have a problem that you hope AI can solve? Reach out to us because we may have already solved it. Again, invoice processing and automation, image recognition and classification, risk assessment and verification, advanced machine learning models, and practical usage of existing AI tools. Thank you for your time. Keenan, what else do we have today?
That was awesome. Thank you, Rob. I did want to open it up to anybody who has any questions or answers. I believe the Q&A function is activated. So if you have any questions, please feel free to type them into the discussion. Everybody will be able to see them and we can answer them in real time. I know we're just about at time, but I had a couple of questions that I know we get from our clients and dealing with, prospects throughout and, I guess frequently asked questions. I would love to ask some of those. And also you'll see on your screen is just a quick poll. If you guys don't mind, just take 30 seconds. 3 questions. We just want to kind of get an idea of some of the challenges and some of the thoughts that you guys had around AI in your CRM. But as you guys are doing that, I can kind of jump right into the Q&A. So first question I had for you is, you covered the details of data security and privacy pretty comprehensively, but I did want to confirm, when AlphaBOLD builds out a custom AI, does that custom AI access and handle data differently than Microsoft's models?
I see what you're saying. Yeah. So a lot of this actually, the samples that we had screenshots there, all use Azure AI technology. So it's all using Microsoft technologies. So we're using a combination of Azure Vision, Azure Machine Learning, the OpenAI, Azure Foundry. They're all Azure-based technologies that we showed today. That said, we're familiar with using Claude, Grok, DeepSeek, all of the models, and we're trying to keep up to speed on a pretty much daily basis as new models get released.
Awesome. Okay, so what are some of the common challenges or limitations that we deal with clients when we're facing their implementation? Right? How do we overcome some of those challenges, limitations?
Sure. So obviously, I addressed it a little bit in the webinar, but one of the most common limitations is data. So obviously, all these models can access sort of the general models and be able to glean some of those insights, but to get accuracy of data, you have to have data in the system, and that requires you to make sure that it's in there, it's clean, and it's accurate. So as we had the common adage, garbage in, garbage out, right? That's really honestly the biggest, most common limitation.
One of the really cool things you showed was sort of the data extraction from a really complicated looking image. Can you elaborate on any other industry use cases that might be outside of AEC where this could be useful?
Oh, absolutely. So we've done invoice processing. So customers needing to process large volumes of things like purchase orders. We're working with a customer on a model to do that, just that thing, and trying to increase the accuracy of existing machine learning models by pairing models together. For example, image identification. So we worked with a customer a few years ago to highlight flag job site security. Essentially, workers going onto a job site without hard hats, being able to flag, basically with image searching, looking for people not wearing a hard hat, flagging and logging that information and raising it up as a concern due to workplace safety instances. We have, again, AlphaBOLD has been working with AI and machine learning since its inception over 8 years ago. We've worked with customers in oil fields in Saudi Arabia, building machine learning models that look at sensor data to create baselines so that we can send information back whenever one of their devices go out of baseline to dispatch work out to the field. So these are all solutions that we've helped customers with in the past and are outside of what we showed today.
Okay, awesome. I do have one last question to ask you. It's going to be a little bit of a curveball. Of all the models that you showed us today, what's your favorite one?
So all the models that I showed today, as far as features or just general.
I guess I meant features.
I would say the one that I end up using the most is actually sort of the conversation history or conversational summaries. It allows me to get up to speed very quickly. One kind of quick example I can give is, in our business consulting, we're working with customers and salespeople, and I did have a salesperson who invited me to a call, expected me to do sort of a presentation, but I think 15 minutes prior, he hadn't given me any details. So quickly did a search within Copilot that's tied into our internal dynamics just on the customer. It was able to pull open a slew of emails and information, summarize that for me. I was able to find a document that the customer sent with their requirements, was able to have it summarized, and I was able to get up to speed in about 5 minutes before the call, which was key for us to have that phone call. So yeah, the summaries and just being able to compile that information and quickly summarize it for me is probably one of the biggest quick wins.
That's really cool. Okay. I mean, that's it from my end, Rob. I know we went a few minutes over, but I really want to thank everybody who kind of stuck with us. We're trying to do these kinds of webinars on a monthly basis, so please stay tuned. You're going to get a recording tomorrow in your email of this webinar along with our newsletter. And then, starting next week, we'll start talking about what's next to come, which we've got some really, really cool stuff from Rob and his team coming in the near future. Thanks, everybody.